Elmer Laird, Pioneer Organic Visionary Organic Connections Conference. That was Saskatoon, 2006.
So it looks like you have your own Hall of Fame.
Well, I suppose you could call it that, yeah.
With a Wall of Fame.
Wall of Fame.
In the beginning, when the Back to the Farm Research Foundation started out, was there a lot of support for that?
Not really, no. But the thing that is really pleasing me now is now that I'm accepted in the Hall of Fame, this is something I didn't work for. But what I got a great pleasure out of it over the last 30 years or 35, whatever you said, is over those years I met a lot of fine people from all over the province that were interested in becoming organic farmers. I spent a lot of time talking to them, helping them get started, and on the other hand, they helped me in a lot of ways. And so that has been, to me, that has been the great credit, is working with these people all these years, not actually getting an award, but working with all these people and having that experience for all these years. And
so basically, you're the face.
yeah, I'm the spokesperson for it, sure. My contact is with the media. Thank you. Well, sometimes it depends on the decision, but last night, the big discussion was about who's going to cut the hay and who's going to bale it. And they made that decision without my help, so I'm left out of it.
So you don't, as the president, you don't take part in the board decisions, or?
Well, if I have something to recommend, I recommend it, certainly. But I don't necessarily dominate. You know, some presidents dominate everything in the meeting. Well, I don't attempt to do that. I just attempt to go along, and if they want some advice, John Sperling, these are directors, Wayne Morrison, Charles Moore, Blair Edwards, and Lauren Dean. Now, Charles Moore, for example, his ambition is to grow all the fruit we need here. He worked for 10 years in the Okanagan, and he thinks it's senseless to grow fruit out in the Okanagan and haul it back here. John Sperling, if you want some organic beef or buffalo, if you go to him, he may not have it on stock at the moment, but he'll know a farmer that does have, and he'll go out and slaughter the beef or the buffalo and supply you with whatever amount of beef or buffalo you want. Wayne Morrison farms, I think, a section, maybe 2 sections of land, and he drives a school bus, and he's an organic farmer, but he has a few cattle, but not very many. Blair Edwards farms at Bladworth, and he has quite a few cattle, and he farms about 5 quarters. And Lauren Dean sold his farm last fall, and he does quite a bit of work here. And then Don Robertson is not an organic farmer, but he has been chairman of the Research Foundation ever since it was founded in 1973.
It seems to be a lifetime appointment because I'm still vice president and Elmer is still president. We're a very small membership organization, but I think we have been dedicated and we have presented the problems and suggested solutions which usually weren't followed.
Don was a a very active member. Well, he was a director of the National Farm Union when we talked about setting up the Research Foundation. He lives at Liberty. Our local lawyer, Delene Church, is on the board of directors. She doesn't take too much part, but she's very helpful with any legal thing. Then we have these other people that are consultants. And Vic Eldhouse, I think he's from Kelvington. I think he served two years in the House of Commons as an NDP member. O.W. Grusendorf was one of the early pioneers of organic farming. It lives at Woodlands, Manitoba, and I rarely ever hear from him anymore. Henry Lorenzen is an environmental architect from Regina, and he is very interested particularly in designing root cellars and greenhouses. Bob Sterling is a PhD in sociology, and he has spent many, many years in sociology in Regina and is now retired. And Joan Harrison has a Bachelor of Education. She's from Saskatoon, and she spends an awful lot of her time in composting. She travels the country as a compost expert. And Janine Gibson, intercropping consultant, she specializes in crop certification.
I've been working for 15 years as an inspector. I've known Elmer for most of those. I visited his farm about 14 years ago, and we became good friends. And I've used his farm, the Back to the Farm Research Foundation, as a center for training some of the inspectors, the apprentice inspectors who wanted to learn more, so that they would meet me there at Elmer's, and he would host us, and then they would come out with me to visit the farms in the area that were applying for organic certifications.
So that's the group of people that are working to make up the Research Foundation. One of the biggest discussion topics, I think, is alfalfa hay. You know, what are the nutrients in alfalfa hay? And the big thing about alfalfa that isn't always recognized, alfalfa roots go down 20 feet. So that means that they make a track to take nitrogen down and bring whatever other ingredients are in the soil all the way down 20 feet, bring them up the top that are going to improve the soil in their fields. Well, let's take this for example. Edible garden weeds of Canada. This lists 38 weeds, but what is missing is they didn't do the nutritional value for the weeds. And as we really move into organic farming, we need to know the nutritional value of the plants so we can decide, are we going to eat them, are we going to feed them to cows, or throw them away, or plow them in. And these are things we have to decide. And if I've been writing to try to get people in agriculture at the university to do a nutritional study on these weeds. And then we're in far better position to make decisions about what do we do.